I remember when Summer and I were living in Raleigh, North Carolina, they had these lakes with ducks in them. And she said, this could never happen in China. I said, what do you mean? She said, in China, none of those ducks would be alive. They'd all be for dinner. Today I want to talk about weather and travel. Well, mostly the combination of weather and travel and how it can really screw up your plans, but you know, weather is weather, right? Let me situate myself. I am in Marin County, just north of San Francisco, over the Golden Gate Bridge. This is where my brother and sister-in-law live, and also my mother. So that's why I'm here. Such a gorgeous morning. You would never have known by looking at this gorgeous morning that last night we had a howling rainstorm. My brother and sister-in-law's house where I'm staying lost power all night. It's still out. And this is the residual water from from probably a week or two of storms now. It's been crazy around here. It's safe to cross now. Go! Sorry, got distracted. Right now I'm walking south from Mill Valley to Sausalito. We're in the midst of a series of rolling storms. It's been kind of a pattern, maybe a couple days of, really hard downpours, and then a day like this. So we are in between, we're basically in between a bomb cyclone and an atmospheric river. Meteorological terms that sound quite ominous. This is the second power outage that my brother and sister-in-law have experienced in this week. So, not so good, but everything is prepared and the house is fine. I have a few obsessions. Well, maybe I have a lot of obsessions, I don't know. I really feel the need to walk my 10,000 steps or more every day. Doesn't always work out, but yeah, I always feel that pull. And the other one is that I'm the type of guy that always wants my electronic devices at, full battery power. So that really came in handy, that second part last night when we lost power. I had no anxiety. I was in a comfortable bed, had enough blankets, and I had full power in my phone and in my computer. So, yeah, I was happy as a clam. Happy as a clam? I just said that, and I don't know if I've ever said that before, but I know the phrase, but are clams happy? So I looked it up, and it said it's a shortened expression from the original, happy as a clam at high water, which makes sense. I guess it makes sense. I am no clam expert, but I guess at high tide, high water, they have more opportunity to eat. Yeah. Looking east, that is the 101 freeway. And when I get under the freeway, I will be entering Sausalito, more or less. Traveling, I've always found that the worst experiences turn out to be the best experiences in retrospect, but only in retrospect. Like having to sleep on the floor of a train station in Frankfurt all night because you misread the time schedule, or walking around Pamplona looking for an open hotel or hostel because, well, it's off season, you didn't make a reservation, and most of them in this kind of touristy town are closed. Oh, I had this huge backpack during my round the world tour. Or getting terribly sick with a stomach thing in Cambodia and just not knowing if you're going to make it. At least that was the feeling I had. But you come out of these things and, like I said, they become your best memories. My brother and sister-in-law live in a little town called Woodacre, which is just as it sounds. It's pretty much in the forest. If you know Marin County at all, you go from San Rafael west, and you'll pass Fairfax, and you keep on going another 10 or 20 minutes, and boom, Woodacre. They moved last year from Sausalito, from a floating house where I want to go visit now and see the surrounding dock areas. I want to see the water levels, and those houses are just gorgeous. I mean, when you see them, you'll just say, I want to go to there. I lived in San Francisco and Oakland across the bay for about 10 years, from 1997 to 2014. If you do the math, you'll see that I cannot add or subtract, but almost half of that time I was in China, and the other half I was here in the Bay. But my earliest understanding of San Francisco was as a kid watching movies and TV series, and I was always thinking about, well, not always thinking about, I used to watch this detective series called Ironside with Raymond Burr as the detective Ironside in a wheelchair. Whether it was real or not, or whether I'm even remembering it correctly or not, because I was a little kid, I remember in his office there was a big window, and it was always raining. I thought San Francisco was just the rainy city by the bay. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. It doesn't really matter. Of course, weather patterns change. Recently, in these recent 10 or 20 years, as long as I was living in the Bay Area, we always seemed to be in a drought situation. I was wondering about this. I was wondering if this would be passable, if there would be flooded areas. I can imagine last night, it was crazy. Nice. We've got a couple more atmospheric rivers on the way, so maybe this will be another river. I'm under the freeway, by the way. We're going there. Arrived. This is the Sausalito, well, there's probably an official name, but I call it the Sausalito Floating House Neighborhood. Let's compare composition with red, yellow, and blue by Mondrian. It's about 11:30 a.m. and I just checked. The high tide today won't be until 11:41 p.m. So this is, well, it's a few hours after low tide. I can only imagine what this paved area is like last night. This is where my brother and sister-in-law used to live, here on a dock. Let's check it out. Ahoy there, matey. This was my brother and sister-in-law's house, and I almost didn't recognize it. Completely painted, different color, and my brother and sister-in-law had so many plants and Buddhas and artwork and other mysticism running around here. I spent a lot of happy days on the floating house. If you're wondering the difference between a floating house and a houseboat, I guess houseboat is the colloquial term, but as you can see, these are not boats. They float, but they're not boats. The beauty, the uniqueness, the individuality of this neighborhood, no two houses are alike. It reminds me of an old comic strip. If you're very old and you're American, you may remember The Wizard of Id. And The Wizard of Id, one of the characters was a king. And the king was visiting what looked to be an Arab sheik. And the Arab sheik said, "I have 35 wives, each more beautiful than the next one." And the king, he's like got this puzzled look. He says, "Each more beautiful than the next one?" And the sheik, he kind of shrugs and says, "Well, only if you line them up that way." All these houses, each more beautiful than the next one. All right, I think I'm going to wrap up this video now. I really want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you like this video, please press the like button. Drop a comment below. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Take it easy. Till next time. Bye.